Hello, hello. Today we are making a cream cheese chipped beef cheese ball. Had to think about that. So you're gonna need some basic ingredients. First of all, cream cheese. I know it's a shock. You never would expect cream cheese in a cream cheese ball. And chipped beef. You're also going to need green onions, some Lee & Perrins W sauce. I am not about to try and pronounce that live. And some garlic powder. You'll also need some, sorry, my mind went blank, completely blank right there. You'll also need some crackers or something to eat it with. Some people put pecans on the outside. I'm not fancy like that. I just want my cheese. The rest of it is all clearly a luxury. So we're gonna start out by chopping our onion. See how I recycled? I used a piece of scrap wrapping paper to write my recipe on. Look at that, look at that. Okay, so we're gonna work smart, not hard. So cut the onions in half. Then we'll just do them all together. You want to get these, oh, and it's 3, by the way. They're already rinsed. They've already got their little root systems cut off, ready to be composted. Now, this was going to be originally a live, but I'm waiting on a call from my mom's nursing home, which means that parts of this video may be cut off because I'm not sure what happens if you have a phone call and you answer your phone as you're trying to record. So, just as an FYI. All right, we've got these ready. We're gonna open the cheese ball. You know what? Working smart, not hard, and trying not to amputate any digits. Let's try it this way. There we are. That plastic is very annoying. Now, this recipe is different, so because it lets you put it in a KitchenAid type mixer. Mine is not KitchenAid, mine is generic, just so you're aware. We are not fancy here. Okay, I'm gonna pause this in case mom's nursing home calls. And restarted. So, we're gonna take this cheese. It should not be this hard to get the cheese out, but sometimes it be like that. All right. And I'm gonna go ahead and take the bowl out so that this is a little more manageable. So one thing I noticed with this particular mixer is it doesn't reach all the way to the edges. So we're gonna put the cream cheese in first, and then we're gonna put in the other stuffs. So 1 block of cream cheese in. Don't forget to scrape off all the goodness. No cream cheese left behind. It's a slogan for the day. Probably more successful than No Child Left Behind, because I don't know if you've all been watching the United States education system, but I'm pretty sure many children are left behind. Just throwing that out there. So today is the big family gathering for James's family, but my mom comes too, as does my cousin, my biological cousin Karen, and her daughter and her grandson. So that's always really fun. I have to ask my cousin a question. So all of my life, I have heard horror stories about my dad's dad. Never heard anything good about him. Always just, you know, how he pretty much beat the kids and beat his wife and blah, blah, blah. But then I ran into a man that went to school with my dad, and my dad's dad was the janitor at the school. And the dude had good memories of my grandpa. Like, nobody in my entire life has ever said anything good about my grandpa. He died in like the 60s, so long before I was born. But it's just very interesting. So I'm going to ask my cousin about it tonight. We're going to put in the green onions. We missed one. Oh, 2, 3. I sanitized the table before we started. Don't worry. We got this. Okay, chipped beef. And let me pause. So, they said to use a 5-ounce, to buy a 5-ounce package of the chipped beef, but then use half of it. Half to 2/3. Well, I don't love a ton in my cheese ball, so we're going to use this 2-ounce package, and I feel like that's going to be plenty. So let me move you so you can see. Whoop. There we go. So we're just going to chop this in little rows, putting it down as neatly as we can, but knowing it's not going to be perfect because life is messy. Turn it around. Chipped beef. So I'm curious, if you're watching this, let me know, what is your favorite type of cheese ball? I am a huge cheese ball fan, because I am a huge fan of anything cheesy, except comedies. I don't like cheesy comedies. All right, let's put this in. And my favorite is this cheese ball. Once I tasted it for the first time, I was like, OMG, I must have this. So, okay, 1 2-ounce package of cream cheese in there. Or not cream cheese, chipped beef. You know, the stuff I was holding up but couldn't remember the name of. Pausing again. Now, 1 tablespoon of Lee & Perrins W sauce. It is the secret to all good food. It really is. And I only buy Lee & Perrins because an amazing cook I know swears by it, and I swear by him. So then half a teaspoon of garlic powder. I hate this. Okay. There we go. Mine's a little heaping because I really like garlic. And I hate bland food. I'm curious what kind of herbal cheese ball, like what, are there any herbs that you add to your cheese ball? You know, I'm pretty obsessed with fresh herbs right now. And trying to incorporate them into everything to add health and nutrition. Let's put this on here. I think it's locked. Sorry if this is shaking. The table is apparently not the steadiest. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna put the lid down. Let's move you over this way. And we're gonna whir it. I'm gonna skip that part because it's gonna be annoying and loud. Okay, well, I would classify that as moderately successful. It didn't reach to the edges well because it is a, you know, it is a generic off-brand from a blue box store, you know. But overall, it's probably easier than doing it from like all by hand, so I'm also not going to complain. So what I'm going to do is take our little bowl out. I'm going to scrape the goodness off of here. They said to like whip it until it's fluffy, but like I don't think of cream cheese ball as fluffy. Like, this is not a whipped body butter. It should not be fluffy. And it's going to be refrigerated, and then it's going to get hard and angry. Like, it's like the kid that's in foster care and gets like, has been like beaten and moved all around. And in response to that, it chooses to make itself stronger. Look at me and my metaphors. Been very metaphorical lately. And so it grows strong in all the hurt places and is amazing. And that, I think, is what Cheeseball does. Like, you put its little butt in the blender and it's like, yeah, this is fine. Do what you want to me. Hate me. Abuse me. Whatever. But I'm going to be amazing when I'm done, and there's nothing you can do about that. So I'm just getting the Cheeseball off the sides and off the bottom, kind of whipping it around one last time with my little spatula, which is probably not the right tool for this task. But you know what? Whatever. Okay, so let me show you what we've got. And now I need to grab some plastic wrap. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to toss the Cheeseball onto the plastic. Oh yeah, it looks like it's pretty well mixed. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Scraping up the bowl. Again, we want no cream cheese left behind. My favorite thing about making this for family gatherings is that I get leftovers. So there we are. And now comes the fun part, in which we try and shape this little thing. Now look, if you're not feeling fancy, you can do this with your hands. I won't tell on you. Okay, whatever, it's not that deep. But since I'm doing this on video, I'm gonna go ahead and try and shape it this way. You can shape it a little bit after it's been in the fridge. It's just easier when it's really nice and pliable like this. And you kind of make it into a circle shape, but the bottom is flat, of course. And then you're gonna take this, make sure all the edges are sealed so it doesn't taste like refrigerator. If you have not renewed your Arm & Hammer in the fridge, to make sure it smells nice. Okay, and then we're gonna throw it in. I'm just going to, wow, sorry, I keep shaking this. I am going to put this in the fridge for 2 hours. Then I'm going to, damn, that shakes. Then I'm going to toss it on a plate, like take it out of the plastic wrap, put it on a plate, surround it with some kind of cracker, and we'll be golden. Look at this, it's amazing. A little misshapen, but it gives it character. All right, I will see you all later. Eat something wild, maybe in your Cheeseball.